Welcome to astrobix.com Vedic Astrology Webcasts. There are many misconceptions about the Lal Kitab. There are many different views about the origin of this mystic book. Lal Kitab is considered to be different from Vedic astrology. The main mistake that astrologers make these days is that they analyze a Janma Kundali through Vedic astrology and suggest remedies on the basis of Lal Kitab. There are various principles for analyzing the Kundali through Lal Kitab. If a person uses the remedies suggested by Lal Kitab, then he should also analyze the Kundali through it. In this webcast, we will discuss the remedies of Lal Kitab and their effects on our life. Lal Kitab was written by Pandit Roopchand Joshi. He belonged to Farwala village in Punjab. He worked in the accounts department of the British Army and was posted in Himachal Pradesh. There was an officer in the British Army who knew some principles of Lal Kitab. He told another soldier about these principles. The interesting thing about Lal Kitab is that a person can know a lot about himself through the principles of Lal Kitab without knowing much about his Janma Kundali. According to Lal Kitab, each planet changes its Karak according to the different houses. For example, Moon is the Karak planet of mother in the 4th house, whereas it is the Karak planet of maternal grandmother in the 6th house. It's possible that the soldier might have told his officer about these principles, and therefore the officer asked him to write them. The soldier knew all the principles, but he was not able to write them in an order or sequence. The principles which were meant to be first were last, and vice versa. The British officer then told Pandit Roopchand Joshi to write down these principles in an orderly manner. He wrote these principles in sequence and filled 4 registers. Roopchand Joshi published these registers as a book and made them public in the year 1939. The cover page of this book was red in color, and therefore it came to be known as the Lal Kitab. Many different versions of this book were published from 1939 to 1952. During these modern times, astrologers have changed the principles of Lal Kitab before presenting them to the public. The fact is that the remedies mentioned in Lal Kitab are used in accordance with the position of planets in the Varsh Kundali. The remedies based on Lal Kitab for a Janma Kundali should be done first. Then the remedies for the Varsh Kundali should be carried out. The rule for a Varsh Kundali based on Lal Kitab is different. It is nowhere related to Vedic Varsh Kundali. You should use the remedies mentioned in the Lal Kitab only if your Kundali is formed according to Lal Kitab. Using the remedies of Lal Kitab for a Janma Kundali based on Vedic astrology may harm you rather than giving you positive results. It's also important that you perform these remedies as mentioned in Lal Kitab. For example, if you have been asked to set afloat something in flowing water, you should do this in a river rather than in a sea or a pond. This is because the water in a pond is stationary and the water in a sea comes back to the shore. In this case, the effects of the remedy can come out to be unfavorable, and therefore you should carry out these remedies exactly as mentioned. According to the remedies mentioned in Lal Kitab, you can use the remedies only for those planets which give Varshifal or Rashifal in the Kundali. The word Grahafal here is referred for the planets which are fixed, exalted or debilitated. There will be no remedies for such planets. Remedies will be used only for planets which are neither exalted nor debilitated and which are not in a fixed position. The remedies for Lal Kitab are best understood through the hidden facts related to them. But this takes a lot of time. People usually do not try to understand the true meaning of these remedies. They want to get the results. This is the reason why people do not get positive results in these times, and sometimes the problem increases. Now we will discuss some remedies as mentioned in the Lal Kitab. These remedies should be performed only after consulting a skilled astrologer. The remedies should not be used if your Kundali is not formed on the basis of Lal Kitab. The first remedy of Lal Kitab states that an inauspicious planet should be destroyed. For example, Venus is inauspicious when it is in the 8th house. To destroy the inauspicious effects, sorghum should be buried in a pit, as Venus is the Karak planet of sorghum or jowar. Venus will not give inauspicious results for that year if you perform this remedy. The second remedy of Lal Kitab makes sure that the ill effects of an inauspicious planet do not affect the person. For example, if an inauspicious Mars is placed in the 12th house, then revdi made of jaggery should be set afloat in flowing water. Several other things are set afloat in the flowing water for other planets too. According to the third remedy, neither the planet nor its effects are destroyed. In this remedy, the inauspicious planet is converted into an auspicious one. For example, let us assume that Rahu is in the 5th house. By performing this remedy, Rahu's ill effects are converted into auspicious ones. Rahu is the Karak planet of elephants. Therefore, a small statue of a silver elephant should be kept in the house. This will convert the inauspicious effects of Rahu into auspicious effects. According to the fourth remedy, an auspicious planet needs to be established. For example, when an auspicious moon is placed in the 2nd house of your kundali, old rice taken from your mother are kept at the home. This is because moon is the Karak planet of rice as well as pearl. Performing this remedy establishes an auspicious moon for you. The fifth remedy states that an auspicious planet should be established in order to minimize the ill effects of two enemy or inauspicious planets. For example, let us assume that Sun and Saturn are both placed in the 6th house. Sun and Saturn are enemies of each other. Mercury should be established to minimize the ill effects of both these planets. This is because Mercury is a friendly planet for both Sun and Saturn. Plants or flowers should be planted in the house to establish Mercury. According to the 6th remedy, an inauspicious planet should be converted to an auspicious one. For example, if Venus is auspicious in your kundali, you should feed sorghum to a cow. This is because Venus is the Karak planet for jowar and for cows. The cow will eat this jowar and excrete it as dung. In this way, it will destroy the ill effects of an inauspicious Venus. Venus will give auspicious results after that. Remedies have been mentioned in many fields other than astrology. The remedies mentioned in Lal Kitab should be carried out as mentioned. If they are done in a correct manner, they can act as amrit. Otherwise, these may even act as poison. The remedies of Lal Kitab should be never used if your kundali is not formed according to Lal Kitab. You should also perform the remedies exactly as mentioned in the Lal Kitab. If you want to carry out a remedy of Lal Kitab, you should do it only during the daytime. This is one of the most important rules of Lal Kitab. Each remedy is performed for 40 or 43 days. Only one remedy is carried out in one day. You should not carry out two remedies simultaneously. If a person is unable to perform the remedies himself, one of his blood relatives can do it for him. The remedies of Lal Kitab should be carried out under the supervision or guidance of an expert. Thank you for watching this webcast. Visit astrobix.com for free Vedic astrology, and you can also get your Lal Kitab astrology report made on astrobix.com.